Hello, welcome to my channel, Visa Talks with K. So, have you really ever wondered how you can get a Schengen visa if you're young, if you're single, and if you really don't have even travel history at all? So, today in this video, I'm breaking down how we successfully applied for a premium client that fell under that category: young applicant, limited travel history, and of course, single. I'll talk about 5 critical success factors that I felt made this application successful, and I hope you can also learn from that experience while making your own application by yourself. So firstly, let's look at the applicant status. She is single, she's in her mid-20s, she works in the private sector. Bank statement, she had an opening balance of around 1 million naira and a closing balance of 9 million naira. As for travel history, she only visited one African country and is a visa-free country for Nigerians. Also, she has no previous Schengen visa refusal, and of course, her application was made at the VFS Visa Application Center for Finland in Abuja. So now here's the kicker. This profile typically have very profound weaknesses. I said it in the introduction of this video. First, the applicant is young. Second, the applicant has limited travel history. And thirdly, the applicant is single. And of course, she's also going for tourism. So these are really, really high red flags in terms of visa refusal, for my home country, Nigeria. But basically, we're able to turn these typical weaknesses into strength. With this application, I'll tell you step by step the 5 things we did, right, that make this weakness turn out to be strength for her to be successful and also get a visa approved. So first, number one success critical factor that we used to make this visa successful was providing a tailored cover letter. So rule number one, first, never use a generic cover letter. Ensure that your cover letter is specifically tailored to the weaknesses that you yourself have identified based off of your assessment, and highlighting strongly the strengths that would ensure that your visa is approved. So in this application, we crafted a tailored cover letter that would address her case and also ensure that she gets the visa. So first thing we did, we explained clearly the purpose of our travel in details, right? We emphasized also strong home ties, and also our work commitments that would enable her return back to her home country. We highlighted past compliance with visa rules. She has traveled before and eventually she complied and she came back. So we highlighted that strongly. Lastly, we include a day-to-day travel itinerary and travel plan to show that, yes, she's really, really prepared for the trip. So basically, what the cover letter did was to show the visa officer proof of her return to her home country. So yes, I am traveling. Yes, these are the things I'm doing in my home country. Yes, these are the proofs that will make me come back after the successful visit to that country. So the cover letter did all this in clarity. So another success factor that we felt was contributory to the success of this visa application was stability in a bank statement. So this applicant had a relatively stable bank statement, a very reasonable opening balance, which I mentioned was around 1 million, and a closing balance of around 9 million. So for this application, 3 months bank statement was required by the Finnish embassy, that's the Finland embassy. And what this applicant did was for the next 3 months to her date of application, she carefully planned her finances. She carefully planned the transactions that come into that account, to ensure that there are no lump sums and there are no unreasonable, opening balance, like maybe very low opening balance and very high closing balance. So she carefully planned it for 3 months. So I would like to note these 3 key things, when it comes to bank statement submission. First, consistency is key. Make sure there are no sudden high deposit or lump sums in the bank statement that you'll be using for your application. Secondly, it is advisable that the bank statement you are using represents the inflow of your salary, right? So if you're using a bank statement that is your salary account, that's perfect. Also, ensure that you explain any sudden, deposit from your employer in your bank statement. So for this particular person, there was an unusual payment, which eventually is a bonus, a performance bonus that was given by our employer. So we kind of explained that clearly. So ensure that, this is the second point, ensure that you use your salary account, when you're submitting your bank statement for your visa, and also ensure that you clearly explain any unusual payment from your employer. So on the third point, I would like to note that the embassy is really not interested in seeing very large deposit or large closing balance in your bank statement that you're using for your visa application. So what they want to see is stability and proof that you can support yourself on that trip. So as I've always said, if it's going to take you 1 year to plan a visa application and ensure that after that planning you get your visa at that first trial, it's better. It's better that you plan very well than rushing into the application, maybe less than 1 month you think and you rush in and you apply. That is a no-no. That's a red flag for refusal. So here is the professional tip. So if, for instance, your trip is going to cost you 3 million naira, as the total cost for your trip, as maybe a single applicant, then you just necessarily need to have between 6 to 9 million naira as closing balance. You do not need to overdo. Don't overdo and think you need the bigger money. No, that is moderate enough and that is reasonable to support your application. Thirdly, another critical success factor that we felt contributed to the visa approval of this applicant was the provision of a detailed itinerary or travel plan. So we prepared a very detailed day-to-day activity plan that reflects first the arrival time and date in Finland, in Helsinki. The name of the hotel, was clearly, the name and address of the hotel was clearly referenced, and also the details, specific details of each tourist places she would be visiting while in Finland. And lastly, we went further to also make a distance mapping, right? So we ensure that we have in kilometers, we went as far as that, ensuring that in kilometers, the places she wants to visit, so the distance between the places she wants to visit and her hotel was clearly referenced on the itinerary plan. So particularly using the distance mapping shows clearly to the visa officer that you've really done your homework and you're really genuinely trying to visit that country as a tourist. Trust me, the visa officer loves to see this in most applications. So the fourth critical success factor that we saw that contributed to the application approval of this applicant was the mastering of the checklist, the visa checklist application. This looks basic, this sounds basic, but many people still fail, in that way. So this applicant, we ensure that we follow the checklist and the specifications on the checklist to the latter. So the checklist technically became our guide and our map to submitting this application. So for example, on the checklist, a particular document called the employment letter was required to be provided by the applicant. And in that checklist, it was clearly ensured, I have it here written here, so it was clearly stated that the employer letter must be on the letterheaded paper of the company, must be stamped, must be dated, must include the employer's contact information, applicant's details, salary of the applicant, years of service, and also approved leave. Furthermore, it was also required that the employer's tax clearance certificate and business incorporation certificate was provided. These requirements seem very unusual because we've processed a visa application for other embassies, obviously, but this was quite unusual. But we didn't have a choice. We ensured that we followed it to the letter. So the employment letter had those specific things mentioned, and of course the business certificate and the tax clearance was provided. So trust me, in visa application, every single detail matters. I've had experiences of someone being refused a visa because the employment letter wasn't signed. As little as that. So mastering your checklist, following through your checklist point by point is a critical success factor that you shouldn't miss in your application. And of course, we use that, to secure the approval of this applicant. Also, I would like to add that yes, beyond the documents requested for on the checklist, you could also provide several additional supporting documents, that you feel that they are strong and they can make a case for you. So for instance, on the checklist, if you're a business owner, the checklist would not necessarily mention that you should provide your business receipt or evidence of business engagement or business sales. So what you can do if you're a business owner is to just provide, maybe for the period of your bank statement, maybe it's a 3 month bank statement you're asked to provide, then provide like maybe some calculated maybe 10-20 business sales receipts or copies of your business invoice that you have issued over that period. That is strong enough. So those kind of ideas you can also provide in addition to what the checklist has mentioned that you should provide. So lastly, this is kind of peculiar to Finland embassy. The embassy, after the applicant submitted application, the embassy requested for additional information. So the application was queried like several times, and some of the requests that was made by the embassy was that they needed clarification again on the purpose of visit. They needed additional evidence that some certain tours have been paid. They needed also some or a reason why Finland was chosen as the choice destination. And of course, they needed evidence to show family ties back home. So when the query was made, of course, we saw the query in details and we responded effectively well. I mean, in a very timely manner. We didn't just respond by, writing back. We responded with evidence, to back up every of those claims and every of those queries that were raised. So evidence, personal evidence on the applicant side. And of course, I mean, that would have also contributed to the success of the application. Well, because most people at times also miss this. Once you get queried, they don't respond properly or professionally in a way that the embassy wants to see, and that could also, I mean, people could fail in that and of course lead to a refusal. But we did that strongly, and of course, the visa was approved. So, guys, finally, here's a copy of the visa that was approved. Of course, I'm quite excited that the visa was approved. I mean, first time application, young, single, bank statement moderate enough. And even for the applicant, she had at some point thought the visa wouldn't be approved and she wouldn't be given, right? But then the visa came out and we're quite glad and happy that because we actually put so much effort in that application and we're quite happy, I mean, that the application was approved. So if you would like to subscribe to our professional service, to help you maybe draft a cover letter, maybe prepare itinerary, or maybe respond to embassy queries, or maybe you just need a full application support. It's not free, obviously, it's a paid service. So you can send a mail to withkt@gmail.com. It's right on the screen, withkt@gmail.com. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, please share, please also comment, on this video. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe so that you could get more visa tips, and also you could learn from our success stories that we're sharing on this channel. All right, so until that next video, bye bye.